Hello everybody and welcome to Rorsrps Semi-Realistic Points Series. My name is Preston Vieira and tonight we close out 5 months of battling for points in hopes of qualifying for the World Finals. Tonight we close out the Golden Days Tour in Anaheim, California and watch as our Rorsrps All-Stars face off against the top 7 from Lago Vista last week. This is it for the Golden Days Tour, so all points totals tonight are final for our All-Stars and Tryouts competitors. Don't forget, Rorsrps is a sign-up series and you don't even need Rorsrps to get in on the action. Always check the comments under the week's freestyle video to see what trucks are available for sign-ups after the show. Leave your name and Instagram if you have one to lock in your truck for the season. It is 1 truck per person though, so choose wisely. And one last thing before we get started, Rorsrps Season 3 trading cards commemorate every truck and driver featured this season in randomized packs of 7. You can check them out and get your hands on them at Rorsrps.com, and when you get 4 packs or more, you get 25% off your order automatically. Whether you're searching for your favorites, looking for limited editions, finding your own, or collecting them all, we got them only at Rorsrps.com. Now though, let's take a look at tonight's racing bracket. Kicking us off in the racing competition, it's our points leader Trevor Goldberg in Max D taking on Nick Pagliarulo in Kraken. Red Hot Brandon Scalf is going to be taking on Giovanna in Megalodon. Then it's Armando Castro and Toro Loco taking on Dusty Brady in FTI Torque. Avenger Devyn Barber will take on Stephen Mason in Tornadic. Then it's Dawson Rayas in Shake Me facing off against Jimmy Walker in Xtermigator. ThunderROARus Colt Stevens is going to take on Madusa in Madusa. Then we got Shane Lake in Gravedigger taking on Mike Pagliarulo in Excalibur. Josh Tongan and Son of a Digger will close out round 1 taking on Austin Minton in Knucklehead. A lot of great drivers here tonight, including a brand new debuting driver, Dusty Brady, in that FTI Torque monster truck. This is going to be an interesting night of racing, to say the least, here in Anaheim, California. Here come your debuting trucks for the night, or debuting the competition, I guess. First one's out on the track, Trevor Goldberg in Max D, bringing back the World Finals 2 Thunder scheme for that Max D truck, taking on Nick Pagliarulo in Kraken. This is the first time these two have faced off this season. Last time we saw Kraken was just last week in Lago Vista, Texas, but he was also here in round 7, in Costa Rica, where he took on the Tryouts Tour lineup of that show. Didn't end up breaking the top 7 or 8, whatever we were looking for at the time, but he didn't make it to the Golden Days Tour. So he may have been here a couple times already, but this is his first time on the Golden Days Tour, his first time getting a shot at Trevor Goldberg in this racing competition. So this is going to be interesting, to say the least. Both trucks getting dry hops out of the way, up on top of those starting pads in the racing lane. I'm excited to get into tonight's racing. Both trucks looking staged here. Nick Pagliarulo, Trevor Goldberg, we're going green. Jumping right into that first turn, you see Trevor Goldberg out a little wide there, but to the second turn, Trevor is in the lead. A beautiful turn from both of these drivers. Nick maybe a little tighter. Trevor clipping the turning car. He's out wide once again to the line. Nick is all over the place. Trevor Goldberg, Max D, on to round 2 here tonight. Not the biggest shock, but Nick was in the fight up until he clipped that van in the final turn. Sent him off a little sideways there, and that 5-second penalty just bit him. That's how it is when you miss the jump at the end of the race. Brandon Scalf, Red Hot, coming out on your right, taking on Giovanna in Megalodon Fire. Red Hot, Brandon Scalf, 3 in a row for the racing competition. He has 3 wins behind him. He's participated in 3 racing competitions. We'll see if he can grab another one tonight as we go green and launch off of that starting line. Rough first turn for Brandon Scalf. That's not the way he wants to start out this racing competition. Giovanna looking smooth out here with that CRC chassis. Through the final turn, Brandon Scalf maybe coming back. No! Giovanna gonna knock out Brandon Scalf early in tonight's competition. Giovanna Megalodon Fire on to round 2 tonight. So close for Brandon Scalf there. Came down to the wire, but it's not happening this time. Here comes a 2 debuts here. The debut of Armando Castro in that Galaxy. Toro Loco taking on Dusty Brady, making his driving debut for the season in FTI Torque. Now, this is the only show that Dusty is going to be a part of as far as Golden Days and throughout the rest of the season. There is no more season for Dusty Brady in this FTI Torque truck. So we'll see what happens here tonight. He needs as many points as possible. But from what we saw from the FTI Torque truck last show in Lago Vista, a racing championship is definitely possible. This is the runner-up truck that is from the last show. Dusty struggling in his debut behind the wheel. Armando Castro keeping it nice and smooth, and to the line it is gonna be. Oh my goodness, Dusty Brady going over with a wild roll after the line, but Armando Castro, El Toro Loco, is gonna be on to round 2 here tonight, moving on throughout the rest of this competition. We'll see if he can make it to the end, but Dusty Brady, first rollover of the night, and a big one at that. Here comes another body debut, of course, for Devyn Barber in Avenger. He's going to be on your right for this one, taking on Stephen Mason in Tornadic. Man, I mispronounced it in the intro again. It's just the natural way of saying Tornadic out in this region where I am. But Tornadic here, ready to take on a fellow CRC chassis, once again facing off against Devyn Barber in Avenger. We're green, heading into that first turn. Looks like Stephen Mason making quick work of it, coming out of it first. Ahead of Devyn Barber around the second turn. It's looking good. A dead heat right now with a little slide from Stephen Mason into the final turn. And to the line, Devyn Barber in Avenger. A great pass. Looking for a save here. Trying to get that truck to settle down onto all fours. He makes it happen. And he is on to round 2. We will see him again in just a little bit. Stephen Mason. We're going to have to wait for freestyle to see Tornadic once again. Here comes Dawson Rayas in Shake Me, coming out on your right, taking on Jimmy Walker in Xtermigator. Definitely an interesting matchup here. Xtermigator taking on a 2-time racing champion so far this season in Dawson Rayas in Shake Me. We'll see if he can make it 3 here tonight, bring his total up to 5, if I'm remembering correctly, for the season for Dawson Rayas. Both trucks pulling up to the line stage, ready to go. Let's go green. Into our first turn. Both trucks taking it a little wide there. A little slide for Jimmy Walker. Dawson with the lead right now. Shake Me looking fast out here tonight. I don't think it's going to happen for Jimmy Walker. A big slide through the final turn, and it is Dawson Rayas in Shake Me. Solid effort there for Jimmy Walker, but a little too much slide in his first turn and through the second. He did have to have a major brake check to try and slide that truck around the van. Dawson keeping it smooth, keeping it consistent here in round 1. Coming out next, another debut scheme on both sides of your screen. Colt Stevens and ThunderROARus Neon on the right, bringing it back to Anaheim, taking on Madusa with that beautiful pink body, man. It looks incredible. Finally, we get something different. We saw in Season 1, Season 2, and now Season 3, majority being that red, white, and blue scheme. Now we're finally getting a look at this pink Madusa body. Around that first turn, Madusa, big slide there on the exit, out wide for both drivers, though. Looks like ThunderROARus does have the lead right now, and as we come around to our final turn, it looks like it's all Colt Stevens. A big slide there. Madusa squirrely, and it is, I believe, Colt Stevens. We're waiting on the official call. Yes, Colt Stevens and ThunderROARus is on to round 2. Another one from the right side of your screen heading into the next round. ThunderROARus coming back here real soon. Here's another another truck making a debut tonight. The World Finals 2 Thunder Body of Shane Lake's Gravedigger. He's going to be facing off against Mike Pagliarulo in Excalibur. Excalibur's been here on the Golden Days Tour before. We'll see if he can do another solid performance this time, potentially earning enough points to bump him up into World Finals main field qualifier territory. Off the line we go, and through that first turn, Shane Lake on it right now with a big lead on Mike Pagliarulo. And look at the beautiful turn from both of these drivers. Shane Lake still holding on to that lead, though. Look at the slide here, trying to get it under control to the line. Oh my goodness, another insanely close race, but I believe that was Shane Lake. Let's get the official call as we wait for it. Yes, Shane Lake in Gravedigger. Looked like it to me. I was going to say, yes, Gravedigger on to round 2. And here we go, closing out the first round of our racing competition. Josh Tonkin and Son of a Digger on your right, taking on Austin Minton in Knucklehead on your left. Knucklehead has been a serious threat in both competitions. Twice, he's made it to the semifinals, once to the final round. Let's see what happens here tonight as we go green. Josh Tonkin trying to have one more solid show before the end of the season. This is it for Josh Tonkin. All of his points come to a head here tonight. Can he make some up and bump himself up a couple spots to the line? He does get there first. Austin Minton trying to get this truck under control. He's up on the sidewalls, and what a save! Oh my goodness, look at him up on the rear end too. Walking it out. Oh my goodness. Way to steal the spotlight there, Austin. Josh Tonkin, Son of a Digger, on to round 2. If you're enjoying tonight's racing competition so far, be sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Let me know with a comment down below. We got the World Finals coming up very, very soon. Stick around, subscribe. You do not want to miss it. And, of course, check out Rorsrps.com for our trading cards. It is pack of 7 for $10 or 4 or more for 25% off your order. Round 2 is here, though. Max D is going to be taking on Megalodon Fire. El Toro Loco is going to take on Avenger. Shake Me will face off against ThunderROARus. And then Gravedigger will take on Son of a Digger. Digger's Dungeon face-off there to close out the second round. Here comes Team Thunder taking on Team Fire. Trevor Goldberg in Max D on your right, taking on Giovanna in Megalodon Fire. Trevor has been incredible this season when it comes to both racing and freestyle. Primarily, though, freestyle. Max D, always a threat in the freestyle competition. Been pretty solid this season in racing, though. Megalodon Fire's had a little bit of problems, a little bit of a struggle, but Giovanna has been right there lately, stepping up her racing competition, her racing game, coming off the line for round 2. Blue versus red here in the first race. Team Thunder with the lead. Max D clipping that car once again. At least you can say he's keeping it tight and consistent, but I do want to see him step away from that in the semifinals because he will be there. Trevor Goldberg in Max D. Once again, on to the next round tonight. It is the semifinals for Max D. Thunder Giovanna done here in round 2, unfortunately. Coming out next, Galaxy El Toro Loco, or El Toro Loco Galaxy, taking on Devyn Barber in Avenger with that awesome black body. I love it, man. Those orange and red flames really pop on the black. Both trucks staged and ready to go. Let's go green. A race that could go either way. Both of these drivers have showcased solid racing ability this season. Armando consistently a semi-finalist, if not definitely round 2. He's in round 2 once again tonight. Devyn Barber looking to show out for Team Scream. A big slide from Devyn, the wheelie to the line, but he's gonna get it and go over. Devyn Barber in Avenger, another wild ride coming out of the left side of your screen, but he is on to the semi-finals, getting that shot to tighten up a little bit in the semis. We'll see if he can make it to the Dubby final round the same way he kicked off the season. Dawson Rayas in Shake Me coming out on your right, taking on Colt Stevens in ThunderROARus Neon. ThunderROARus has been kind of 50-50. I mean, not literally, but kind of 50-50 this season in the racing competition. I'd love to see him perform well. He did solid in the first round. Let's keep that up against a tough competitor here, Dawson Rayas, as we head into the second turn. Look at the speed from Dawson. A little bit of a slide there on the exit of that second turn, though, to the line. This is going to be a close one. Over it we go. It looks like Dawson Rayas might have that one in the bag. Yes! Dawson Rayas in Shake Me. Once again, on to the next round here tonight. Dawson trying to see that Avenger versus Shake Me face-off in the W final round. Again, closing out the season the way it opened in Show 1. Here on the Golden Days Tour, here comes Shane Lake in Gravedigger Fire taking on Josh Tonkin in Son of a Digger. Digger's Dungeon face-off here in round 2 to close it out. Old truck stage ready to go. Let's go green. clipping that van early in the race. Josh Tonkin struggling a little bit. Shane Lake with the lead right now. Our third and first place spots from World Finals 2 Racing going head-to-head here tonight to close out the season. Over the line, it is Shane Lake in Gravedigger, of course, looking for one more Dubby Racing Championship. He has been on fire 2 seasons now in the racing competition. Let's get a look at the semi-finals bracket. Max D will face off against Avenger, and Shake Me will take on Gravedigger. Definitely a couple of insane races here, and no matter what way we go, we are in for an incredible Dubby final round. Here comes your first racers of round 3, the semis. Trevor Goldberg and Max D once again gonna be on your right, taking on Devyn Barber in Avenger. Now here's something we haven't mentioned yet this season. The only one in the running to knock out Shane Lake from that season points record is Trevor Goldberg in Max D. That's what he's aiming for here tonight. Not only a tour championship, but the new top spot when it comes to season points. Around the second turn here, Devyn Barber in the fight, but he is a little bit behind, struggling to get that truck down the track here. Around that final turn, it's gonna be a little close, not as close as I was thinking though. Trevor Goldberg, Max D, on to the Dubby final round. Team Thunder making it stick here tonight in Anaheim. Devyn Barber, a solid performance here all night long in the racing competition, but it's not going to happen for him tonight. Dawson Rayas in Shake Me coming out on your right, taking on Shane Lake in Gravedigger. These are the number 1 and number 2 spots from Season 2 points. Shane Lake finished Season 2 with 203 points. Dawson Rayas with 201. Let's see what happens here in racing tonight as we go green off the line and into that first turn. Shane Lake bobbling a little bit. Dawson with the lead right now. Around that second turn, that fun box, it is all Dawson Rayas at the moment. He's out wide and into the cars. Dawson down. Shane Lake in Gravedigger on to the Dubby final round. Not only is it Team Thunder versus Team Thunder, but it is Max D and Gravedigger in the Dubby final round to close out the season. Oh my goodness. The Season 2 All-Star Challenge teammates going head-to-head here in the Dubby final round tonight. Shane gonna be on your left, Trevor on your right, and it is all fueled by Dubby Energy, the channel partner when it comes to everything energy fueled. 1 cup in the morning gets me through editing, commentary, driving, graphic design, track design, whatever needs to be done, Dubby gets me through it. And you can get 10% off your Dubby using code RORSRPS at dubby.gg when you check out, whether it's the sample pack or a full tub. The RORSRPS promo code applies to all of it. Check it out again, dubby.gg. But let's get back to the competition. Gravedigger versus Max D for the Dubby final round. Trevor Goldberg taking on Shane Lake. The big names coming out of the All-Star Challenge Tour in Season 2. Shane Lake, of course, as I mentioned, that 3rd place spot in the World Finals 2 racing competition. Trevor Goldberg, the number 1 spot in World Finals 2 two-wheel skills. And he'll be back at the World Finals for two-wheel skills in Season 3. Yes, in just a couple weeks, Trevor Goldberg will try to defend his title against a new field of drivers. Everyone's staged, ready to go here. Shane Lake, Trevor Goldberg for the win. Let's go green. Shane clips that van just like Josh Tonkin in round 2. Around this second turn, we are neck and neck right now. Trevor Goldberg, a little bit of a lead, and into the final turn. Look at this race. These two are experts with the wheel. Oh, Shane Lake, maybe. Yes, Shane Lake in Gravedigger gets to the line first. Another wild ride coming out of the left side of your screen. But Shane Lake in Gravedigger Thunder is your Dubby Racing champion here in Anaheim tonight. What a night of competition here in racing. Shane Lake on kill once again. One more championship to add to the list. Can he pull off the double down is the question. Max D closes out the racing competition with 201 points, 191 for Gravedigger, 149 for Avenger, and 134 for Dawson, Rayas in Shake Me. Then it's El Toro, Loco, Armando, Castro with 128, Colt Stevens 123, Josh Chunkin 107, and Giovanna Hayes in Megalodon Fire with 96. Madusa ends up with 79, Tornadic 44, Knucklehead with 38, and Red Hot with 35. Mike Pagliarulo with 27, 13 for FTI Torque, 12 for Xtermigator, and 11 for Kraken. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the racing portion of tonight's episode. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at RORSRPS for extra content, including early access to the week's racing bracket, pit party pictures, and more. Subscribe to stick around for the World Finals if you haven't. It is coming up very, very soon. And of course, check out RORSRPS.com for our Season 3 trading cards. Anyone who signed up this season and has been named as a driver has cards with their names on it. And for trucks that didn't get signups, real drivers have cards with their names on it. So be sure to check us out at RORSRPS.com. And also, check out Dubby Energy for some clean, jitterless energy. No fillers, no sugar, no artificial dyes, just pure deliciousness. Be sure to check out Dubby.gg, whether it's on social media or on the internet. They fuel us so we can give you guys some entertainment. Again, Dubby Energy, code RORSRPS for 10% off your purchase. Try that sample pack, guys. It's a little bit cheaper, and you get a couple flavors and a free shaker to go with the sample pack. But thank you guys so much for tuning in to the racing portion once again. Be sure to stick around. Freestyle is coming at you in just a few minutes. Let's close out the season with a bang.